Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series, and we return to July of 1985, this time the 15th of July 1985. As mentioned on the last episode, there is no July 8th on the network, so I can't bring what they do not provide. But some good first run stuff here. Interesting things abound, and we see a tag match to Stardust, Kelly Kiniski and Jack Victory. Interesting team against the Fantastics. Bobby Fulton, Tommy Rogers, obviously still in his, I believe, rookie year. Jack Victory is the darling of many. Interesting that the Fantastics are given flowers. I just find that interesting because I can't imagine anybody being given flowers today. But anyhow, Fantastics are your former multi-time American Tag Team Champions, and they immediately go to work on Jack Victory. Victory is a good rookie. Really manages to stay on his feet literally with a more wrestling-based style, hammer locks, wrist locks, and the like. Actually, a back heel trip that was very well done by Rogers. Tag off to Bobby Fulton, and the former champions continue to show their ability and the cutting off the ring aspect of how they do things. Certainly very well done. And again, we continue to see Rogers kind of cut the ring off some more. And at one point, Fulton hits a flying head scissors, which is extremely well done. Goes back to work on the arm. Very basic stuff. But at the same time, they break things down. Finally, the heels do get an advantage, and they cut off the ring on Tommy Rogers for a few minutes. Kiniski using more power, whereas Victory was wrestling in a quicker style, a little less powerful beforehand. And we kind of see them go through for the next couple of minutes. Big back body drop on Victory at a point, and a modified Thez press by Bobby Fulton, and the victory for the Fantastics to close out the first match. Jim Cornette talks about Scott Casey and stealing his jacket. The threat of a lawsuit is abounding from Cornette, as one would expect. When you steal Jim Cornette's stuff, he talks about having talked to lawyers, talks about all sorts of things. Then we move into another Cornette promo back-to-back, this time with Rip Oliver, and talking about the Midnight Express being, again, the greatest tag team in the area. Talks about getting even with Scott Casey and Rip Oliver being the man to do it for him. Bobby Eaton and Dennis Condrey out there as well. So Cornette's stable out in full. Wouldn't want to be Scott Casey in that case, no pun intended. And we do notice that the issue with the jacket, a big deal. Crippler Rip Oliver, who is announced at 262 pounds. I think he might be a little heavier than that, but also think that he, being announced from Florida, is surprising to me personally. I always thought he was a guy from the Portland area, but maybe I'm wrong with that. Anyhow, Oliver and Casey is with Sunshine again, by the way. The match you'd expect it to be in terms of not a whole lot of extra athletic stuff. Cornette not happy with the pacing of the match on the outside. He is trying to get his jacket back quickly. Both men kind of slow. You working the arm, working the wrist locks and the like. Not a match you got to go out of your way to see, but it serves its purpose. Very, very basic wrestling driven. Cornette planning with the Midnight Express on the outside for the duration of the match, it seems, as we see Cornette interacting several times in that way. And then we do see Casey pulled back into the ring by a less than happy Rip Oliver. Oliver continues going. Sunshine is out there, and she gets rather frustrated, jumps in on Jim Cornette more towards the close of the matchup, and Cornette hits Casey in the back with the tennis racket, gets the victory. Sunshine sees this and, for all intents and purposes, jumps Jim Cornette. He gets up in her face over flowers. We see Kabuki out. Kabuki, the, I guess, most notable and ferocious charge of Sunshine at this moment. But needless to say, she continues being on top of her game. Then we move to a Johnny Mantell versus Gino Hernandez semi-main event. Mantell, of course, been around here a very long time. Hernandez has wrestled him countless times before. Must have been a match needing filler time, as Mantell really kind of goes up and down the card according to placement needed to fill out a card more than anything else. Hernandez still in top form. Really would have liked to have seen him in other places, and at some point after I do various series, I will check out where to see more of him. But anyhow, drop kick under the chin of Hernandez, and Mantell certainly does not want to waste any motion. Controls the head and the rest of the body for several minutes. Then we kind of see the match break down, and Hernandez try to force his opponent to carry his weight. Crowd chanting along to get their favorite out of trouble with Hernandez, but that doesn't exactly go the way he intends it to. Hernandez kind of takes some time stalking around and manages to hit the diving off the top back elbow drop and gets that victory. Our main event, the one-man gang versus Kerry Von Erich. We've seen this before, although it's been a few weeks since we've seen these two do battle. Obviously, Kerry Von Erich, who many people would say is the biggest wrestler out of Texas other than Steve Austin, handles the gang, drop kicks him. Gang goes flying over the top rope. Big bump for a man the gang's size to go flying over the top off a drop kick. Second drop kick from Kerry back in the ring, and he goes right after the gang for several minutes here. There's actually a point where the spinning punch by Kerry is done. Kerry not intimidated by the prospect of standing toe-to-toe with the one-man gang, as many people in his position would be. Gang sends Kerry into the steel post. That doesn't lead exactly where anybody wants it to go. Gang tries to eliminate Kerry with a bear hug. That doesn't lead anywhere positive for the gang. With a couple of minutes left in the program, Kerry does put the claw on, and Gary Hart gets involved. Gary Hart gets blasted for his trouble, and needless to say, the gang and Kerry still going. Gang is not a guy that I would say you're going to get a 5-star match out of, although there are some guys that you're not supposed to, but that's there. A disqualification is the matter of things, and Kerry eventually does pick up the victory here. Kerry still wants more even after the match is complete, but we close this edition, and we'll be back with more World Class right after this.